So a lot of you already know about AI, you know about ChatGPT, you use so many tools. But here's the thing about ChatGPT that you don't know about. So in this tutorial or in this video, we're going to be breaking down ChatGPT into different parts. And this is an absolute beginner tutorial. So if you've ever used ChatGPT before, or you still trying to find your way around it, or you've never used ChatGPT, this tutorial is gonna be for you because I'm really gonna break it down. And as a bonus, I'm gonna drop a guide. Everything we're gonna talk about in this video, I'm gonna compile it into a guide that you can download and walk through on your own. So there will be a coupon code in the description for you to use to get the book at a discount. To get the guide at a discount. So to start off, let's jump into Notion, my Notion space. So, going to start with an intro. What is ChatGPT? So, we're going to get into the platform soon. So, this is what the platform looks like. This is a ChatGPT platform. So, but we have to get down with the intro. Since this is a beginner's course, kind of beginner's tutorial, I would like to start with AI. What is AI? Because ChatGPT is an AI tool, and it uses language models and it's a chatbot. So we're going to analyze all these things one by one. What is an AI? An AI stands for artificial intelligence. It's about creating computer systems that can do things that normally require human intelligence. These systems uses special algorithms and machine learning to analyze information, learn from patterns, make decisions, and solve problems just like humans do. So, in a nutshell, the goal of AI is to make machines smart enough to do things that humans can do, and sometimes even better. It can be used in many different areas like healthcare, finance, transportation, manufacturing, and entertainment. For example, AI can help a doctor diagnose diseases more accurately, help self driving cars navigate on their own. So, in a nutshell, an AI is basically simulating human intelligence. Okay, so they can be assistants helping human beings to meet up with deadlines and so on and so forth. So, it's basically like human intellect, but it's engineered as a simulation, more like it's not the real thing, but it's just like human intelligence. So it's about using algorithms to simulate what human intelligence could be like. So and now we have all these tools that use AI. So AI trying to simulate what humans can do, and in a way it helps human beings to make their job faster and more productive. And what is a language model? A language model is an AI system that understands and creates human language. It looks a lot it looks at lots of text to learn words fit together, how sentences are formed. So it learns how sentences are formed and how language works. Then using that knowledge, it can predict and generate new sentences that make sense in a given context. Language models are trained on huge amount of text from books, articles, website. They use this training to figure out the rules and patterns of language. Once trained, they can be used for all sorts of tasks like translating text from one language to another, creating chatbots, like we mentioned, that can talk to people, even helping with writing by suggesting the next word or completing sentence. Language models are really helpful tools because they can understand and generate text in a way that seems natural and human like. It can be used in many different applications where dealing with language is important. So, in a nutshell, language models literally simulate human language. So, it's the use of AI to simulate human language in a way that can be understood. Okay. So, now what are chatbots? A chatbot is a special kind of software that uses AI to have conversations with people. It's like a computer program that can chat with you just like a person would. So the cool thing about chatbot is that they can understand what you are saying in a natural way, as if you were talking to a friend. They use something like called natural language processing, which is this, okay, to figure out what you mean and come up with appropriate responses. So chatbot can do all sorts of useful things. It can help you with tasks like booking a flight, ordering food. They can also answer questions you might have, like finding information on a website or giving recommendations. So in a nutshell, chatbots are great because they are always available to chat with you. They can give quick responses and they can handle a lot of conversations at the same time without getting tired or overwhelmed. They make things easier for both business and customers by automating tasks and providing better experiences. So, in a nutshell, chatbots and AI tools can have conversations with you just like a person would, and they are used to help you with all sorts of things through natural language processing. So, you can see how these three things are tied together. So, chatbot is just like having somebody chat with you on WhatsApp, basically. Yes, but this time it's not a person, it's AI, and it's using language using language models to predict the answers they will give you, making it look sound intelligent or sound in context to what you're asking. Okay. So what is ChatGPT? So ChatGPT comes from the name ChatGPT. It means so the chat word, you know what it means, just to chat normal conversations. And the GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. So now what does that even mean to start with? Yeah, it's a type of language model. So basically, that's all you need to know for now. Just know it's a type of language model that generates text and predicts responses, basically. Okay. And the literal meaning of ChatGPT. So basically, we already know that is a language model that acts as a chatbot. It's an AI. It's an AI that uses language models to act as a chatbot, basically. So it uses the GPT 3.5 architecture and is designed to generate human-like responses to text-based inputs. It can engage in conversations, answer questions, provide information, and assist with tasks. Okay. Now, Wikipedia, there's always a link to check on Wikipedia what it means. Okay. So, Chavi is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI and released in November 2022. So, it's all the things we already have here. Then let's talk about I explained it like it's a 15-year-old. So ChatGPT is like a super smart talking computer program. It can have a conversation with you just like a real person. So it's all the things I've already explained. So in a better context, I wanted to help you understand better what ChatGPT is by comparing with other similar tools that you've used. So we have Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an online encyclopedia that provides factual information on a wide range of topics. It consists of articles written and edited by human contributions. In comparison, ChatGPT can also provide information and answer questions. So ChatGPT can be an encyclopedia, but a difference now is that it does so using an AI model that has been trained on a diverse range of internet texts, while Wikipedia relies on human editors to ensure accuracy. ChatGPT responses are generated based on pattern and examples from its training data, which may not always guarantee accuracy and reliability. So ChatGPT will not always be accurate because, okay, now let's just say, I think from 2022, ChatGPT does not have data from 2022. Anything you ask it about 2022, 2021, I think it will not be able to answer you like because the data from these years were not actually used in training ChatGPT. So it's not up to date. So, but that's for the GPT 3.5. So the latest model, which is GPT 4, actually has access to internet. So that's the difference between these models now. So this is how it acts as an encyclopedia. So it has a lot of data that has been trained on, and it can literally dig in and answer your questions based on that data. Now we also have Google. Google is a search engine that retrieves information from web-based web based on your user queries, provides a vast index of web pages and other online resources. ChatGPT, on the other hand, does not directly access the internet and does not have real-time access to the most up-to-date information. It relies on the pre-trained knowledge, which is current up to September 2021. So that's basically the thing about ChatGPT. The difference between ChatGPT and Google. ChatGPT cannot access internet. Okay. So now let's go to WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a messaging platform that allows users to send text messages, make voice and video calls, and share media with contacts. Enables real-time interactive communication between individuals or groups. ChatGPT, on the other hand, simulates a conversation and responds to text-based inputs in a conversational manner. It can engage in interactive conversations and provide responses in real time. However, unlike WhatsApp, ChatGPT is an AI model and does not have a user interface or specific features like voice or video calling. So, difference between ChatGPT and WhatsApp is that there's advantage and there's disadvantage. The fact that it's an AI model is one, and the fact that the advantage is that it can always respond to you whenever, unlike a human being. So, you know, ChatGPT will always be there to respond to you, but its responses at times will not be human-like. You understand? So, because it's an AI model, it's an AI system, so it will always be human-like, and it does not have a whole lot of things that WhatsApp has, like voice and video calling. But it will always be there to respond to you based on the data it has been trained on. So now let's jump to types of ChatGPT. So basically, there is literally no cannot really categorize ChatGPT by type, but we can categorize them by the language models that has been released. So we have GPT-4 and GPT 3.5. 3.5 is the first one that came out, and GPT-4 is like the recent one. That's a lot of plugins and much more possibilities. They are both language models developed by OpenAI, but GPT-4 is newer and more advanced model. Here are some key differences between the two models based on the search results. GPT 3.5 is available on ChatGPT, released so and so day, blah blah blah. Can generate human-like text, can answer complex questions, can produce creative content, can handle conversation and longer prompts. Cheaper to run than GPT-4, because for you to get access to GPT-4, you have to be subscribed to their premium plan. Responds to more quickly than GPT-4, but I doubt that because it all depends on the context and your system as well. But GPT-4 is way much more fast in response. So GPT-4 is released in 2023, March of 2023, has 10 times more parameters than GPT 3.5. It's trained on data up to 2021, so it's more recent in the data that it has access to. It can understand images and describe them. So you can actually upload images in this one, and it can literally look at the image and tell you what's on the image. It can synthesize information from multiple sources, can produce stories, poems, essays, just like GPT 3.5. It can recognize emotions expressed in text and respond with empathy, can improve code. GPT-3 can also do that, but I think GPT-4 has a much more advanced way of doing it. So GPT-4 takes longer to respond than GPT 3.5, okay? Is less likely to make factual errors or hallucinate than GPT 3.5. So it takes, because of it has so much more data, it takes a lot longer time, sorry, to respond. GPT-4 is considered to be significant improvement on GPT 3.5 in terms of its capabilities and accuracy. However, GPT 3.5 may still be better choice in some cases, such as when computing power is limited or when speed is a priority. So GPT 3.5 is faster than GPT-4, but GPT-4 will give you much more comprehensive responses. Okay, so now how can you access ChatGPT? ChatGPT is actually free, absolutely free. So if anybody is telling you that go to Play Store and download this app, ChatGPT, that you'll be paying so and so amount, that's a lie. It's absolutely free, and to access ChatGPT, you just have to go to your Google search just go to your Google search and type ChatGPT. Click, just click on the first link. It brings you here, and this is ChatGPT right now. So all you need to do is go to try ChatGPT. So, but we're coming back. It's free to access. So what should you not do? Don't go to Play Store to download an app. I'm going to give you an instance of what I'm talking about. You go to Play Store and you have. For now, I think they just there is ChatGPT available for iPhone users right now, but on Play Store it's not available. So if you type ChatGPT, you see all sorts of things. You understand? All these things are all parodies. Okay, they're all there to just make money from the main ChatGPT, which is free. So all these ones are paid. You do not download. There is no app for ChatGPT on Play Store. So you go direct to the website and click on try. That's what you do. So misconceptions of ChatGPT. There are a few misconceptions people have of ChatGPT. Number one is that it's going to take your job. So ChatGPT will not take your job because literally it's about who is using ChatGPT, and those who are using ChatGPT are people that literally take the jobs because they will do so much more and they will do so much more faster. Okay, but not ChatGPT itself. And ChatGPT is not here to take over the world, as some people just say AI stuff. You know, uh, well, some people will say that it will definitely happen, but even if it will, that will be in future. Like I don't even know. They have to get to a point to start saying that AI is going to do this or do that. So the misconception is that ChatGPT is a real human being pretending to be an AI language model. This is not true. ChatGPT is an AI model developed by OpenAI. ChatGPT understands what you're asking. This is a misconception. ChatGPT lacks the ability to truly understand the complexity of human language and conversation. It is simply trained to generate responses based on the input it receives. And the third one is that ChatGPT is a substantial advance towards AGI. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, which refers to AI that can perform any intellectual tasks that humans can. So we've not gotten to the level of AGI right now. So ChatGPT is not an AGI, and it is limited to generating text based on the input it receives. ChatGPT is that Chat, now there's another misconception that ChatGPT is capable of fabricating facts or hallucinations. This is a misconception. Compared to GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, compared to GPT 3.5, GPT 4 is 60% less likely to fabricate facts, which in AI terms are called hallucinations. Then the fifth misconception that ChatGPT is a replacement of human teacher. This is not true. While ChatGPT can be used as a tool to assist in education, it is not a replacement for human teachers. Overall, it's important to understand capabilities and limitations of ChatGPT in order to use it effectively and avoid misconceptions. What are the limitations? So there's a whole lot of limitations that ChatGPT has, as well as advantages. So it can be incorrect at times, can be biased at times, can give you biased answer at times, and lack of human insight. It has lack of human insight or emotion because it's not a human being. So overall, overly long or wordy answers at times, inability to handle complex conversations, dependence on. So for complex conversations, you have to still fine tune it to an extent. So depending on large amounts of training data, limited or outdated information. So and so on and so forth. You have a need for fine tuning, accuracy problems, limited knowledge, potentially biased responses, trouble generating long form structure, lack of emotional intelligence, lack of common sense. Okay, so we have who owns ChatGPT? So it's owned by OpenAI, like I said earlier. And why was it created? It was created by OpenAI to advance the field of artificial intelligence and natural language processing. It serves as a demonstration of progress made in language models and their potential applications. OpenAI aims to provide useful tools for answering questions, providing information, and engaging in conversations. The development of ChatGPT also contributes to research and development in understanding language and human-like interactions in AI systems. It was launched in November 30, 2022. And for more insights, I'll put all this link in the description if you want to read more about it. So that's the intro. So onboarding, how do you sign up? So you basically go to this link. So we're going to talk about the sign up, how you sign up the workspace, and who can use it. So the signing up, you basically come here, you say try ChatGPT. So I'm logged in already. I'm already logged in. I'll have to log out, then log back in. So you can see how it's done. So um so what you want to do is you don't have an account, you just click on sign up. So you have the option to enter your email address, click on continue, or you use your Google account to sign up. So when you enter your email address, click on continue. You have the option to enter your password. Okay, so you enter your password and then click on continue. So what happens here is that they will send you. So let me just look for another email address. So you enter a password. So your password must contain 8 characters. So you click on continue. So what happens at this point is they'll send you an email. So when you get to your mail, you confirm the mail. And when you come back, you are prompted to enter your phone number. You verify your phone number. Once you verify your phone number, you get access to ChatGPT. So once you have access to ChatGPT, you can always come back and log in. So I'm just gonna log in with my no. Okay. So let's look at the workspace of ChatGPT right now. So to start with, this is what your ChatGPT workspace is gonna look like. So if you're just logging in for the first time, you see a whole lot of notifications here. You have to just click on next, next, next. So the first thing you have to see is this part. Okay. So this explains they give you examples of what you can use ChatGPT for to explain quantum computing in simple terms. Got any creative ideas for 10-year-old birthday? How do I make this? So these are just examples of what you can actually do. And the capabilities remembers what users said earlier in the conversation. So if you are conversing with ChatGPT and there's something you said earlier in a conversation thread, you can tell it, okay, remember me this, or using that particular conversation, can you do so and so? So ChatGPT has the ability to actually remember that conversation and cite information from it and give you a response relating to that. So it also allows users to provide follow-up corrections. It is trained to decline inappropriate requests. Okay. So limitations may occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. It has limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So after 2021, the data from then on is not available to GPT 3.5, but 3.4 has that data. So to upgrade, this is where you go to upgrade. Click on new, and you can now click on this upgrade $20 per month. So this is what you the features you have available. So you have available when even with high demand. So normally when there's high demand, GB 3.5 can just shut down or not give you responses anymore. So, but this will continue to give you responses if you can upgrade. So it gives you a faster response speed, priority access to new features. So there are a lot of new features in the upgraded plan. Like there are a lot of plugins that you can use to make things fast and so many cool stuff. So, but since we have GB 3.5, we're gonna work with that. So the first thing is let's take a look at this part. This is the history. These are all the things I've searched on ChatGPT. Okay, so and it categorizes it in this is today, this was yesterday, from here is yesterday, from here is the past 7 days. The things I've asked for the past 7 days. Okay. So these are conversations, different conversations. So down here you have the upgrade and you click on this, you have the option to ask check out the help and FAQs. There's a frequently asked questions, then you can clear the whole conversation, everything here. Okay. Then this is settings. If you want to change your theme, dark lights, or use the system, you can clear your charts. Don't click this, man. It's crazy. So data controls. So I don't even want to touch any of the things here because I don't know. So you can export data, you can manage, delete your account. So this is a crazy place to be. Then these are your history. Then this is how you add a new chat. So how do you make use of this? Now you are in a conversation with ChatGPT, and like every conversation. So if you're in a conversation and you're trying to start a new conversation in that same thread, just know that ChatGPT is going to be biased in answering you that new topic, anything on that new topic, because it is going to be relating back with the previous conversations on this thread. So what do you do in this kind of case? You just have to click on new chat and start a brand new topic entirely. So any conversation, any questions and answers you are getting, any answers you're going to be getting in that new thread is going to be based on that topic only. So what if you start a conversation in an older thread, like you have a topic here, you're conversing, then you decide to start a new topic by asking a new question. The answers you get will be kind of biased. So it'll be answering it based on the previous conversation you've been having already. Get so this might be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to give you examples right now. So we have the workspace. So who can use it? ChatGPT is free to use for anyone with an account on OpenAI's website. You can create an account, blah blah blah. Use your Google, Microsoft, and there's no user limit on a free version of ChatGPT. Then what can you do with it? Information. So now this is where we'll start practicalizing what we can do. Okay. So they said, what can you do with ChatGPT? So they said information and knowledge. You can answer questions and provide information, provide general knowledge and facts, explain complex concepts, offer explanations of scientific, philosophical or artistic ideas, discuss historical events and figures. You understand? So I'm going to pick one randomly in each case and we'll test it out. So information and knowledge. Let's go with explain complex concepts, okay? So So first of all, since I don't know any complex concept off the top of my head, so I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me a complex concept and ask it to explain it equally. Okay. So one complex concept is a quantum enlargement, entanglement. A quantum entanglement is a fundamental. Oh, it's already explaining it. You understand? So what if I ask for 20 concepts? So I'll just type, give me 20. Don't need to be too elaborate in it. I want to give 20. So let's see. So now there's something I always do. When I tell ChatGPT to give me something, by default, it starts explaining it. And I don't like that. I want to see the list first before the explanation. So what I always do is I just say list, don't explain. So I stop it and I say list, don't explain. You understand? So now, like I told you, this is let me just show you some other features here. So this is a conversation thread, and this is what you can use to. Is that what I think it is? Yeah. So you can. So if you like the answer it has given you, you can copy. You can like it. So when you like the answer, what happens is it is stored in a database. Like it helps them to understand. Okay, yes, they're giving you a good answer you like. So and they'll take that in consideration when generating other answers for other people. If you say no, so they'll try and minimize giving this kind of answer. Everything is stored, okay? So now when you say generate response, it generates the response. And so basically you type and you send, okay? And regenerate response means you want it to give you another example. So for instance, I've already typed my question and sent, and this is the answer it has given me. But I want a different perspective to this answer. Like I want more answers. So two ways you can do that is that you type more and the thread keeps getting longer. If I send it to give me another set of 20 examples like this. Okay. But what if I say regenerate? It will give me a set of another 20 examples, but on this same page. So this is what I mean. Regenerate. So you have 2 over 2 now. So that means we have 1 over 2, which is the first one we generated, and then the second one, 2 over 2. So these are two different things, concepts. So there's a whole lot of crazy concepts. Of some of them we've not heard about them. Humanism. Wow, these are some big, big words, man. So you have cognitive neuroscience. So on the other page, you have dark matter, artificial intelligence, para universe, epigenetics. So if you tell it to explain this thing, it will explain it. Okay, but if you say explain everything, it might stop somewhere around 11. You understand? Then you can say continue. When you type continue, it continues to explain the rest. So now, when I say more, what will happen? So it gives me more, but the thread gets longer. But when you say regenerate, it gives you a new page. So that's the difference between these two. So now let's get down to. So because of time, I might not actually go through everything. Um, Practical tasks and problem solving. So ChatGPT can help you with assistance and advice. You can tell it to act as. So that's a very basic keyword that people always use. Tell it act like so and so and give me an answer. So the answers you get when you tell it to act like somebody are much more advanced and complex than when you just tell it to give you a literal answer. Okay. So it can help you in decision making, offer advice, support in personal development, assist in relationship and dating advice. Well, provide guidance on job interviews and career development. Yeah. Offer tips and strategies for productivity. So if I just tell it now, mind you, I'm going to do so much more videos about this, so much more, because you can't explain everything in one video. It's very, very vast. So you guys will just stay tuned. So now I tell it, offer me some tips, strategies for productivity. So like I told you, you don't do this, stop. Any answer I get in is already biased because of this conversation you already had before. Okay? So what do? You basically take this, copy, start a new conversation, refresh one, you type it here, paste. That way you get a clean answer. So offer me some tips and strategies for productivity. Set clear goals, define specific, measurable, attainable, so on and so forth. So that's the answer. So you now have to choose what you want. So one tip you should have is when asking questions, you have to ask specific questions. You don't just ask open-ended questions like that. So you have to like tell it specifically tips and strategies for productivity where you have to be very so the more specific you are, the better answers you get. So you won't get generic answers. So for instance, let's use this next one we have here. We have guidance on job interviews. So provide guidance on job interviews and career development. So this is an open-ended generic question. So how do you fine-tune this and make it specific? So now you have to ask yourself, what job interview specifically? Okay, so now it's a let's say HR job interview. Mind you, even if you misspell what you wrote and send it, I usually will understand. So provide guidance on job interviews and career development. So you said HR job interview. So now for you to be very good in ChatGPT, it's a very simple thing. Know how to ask questions. When you ask the right questions, you get the right answer. You have to be descriptive enough, have a good command of English and use of words, and be able to use all these apostrophe and hyphens. All of them mean something. Okay, so I'm gonna cover all this in another video entirely because I can't pack all that in here. So that's when we get to the advanced ChatGPT tutorial. I will not go through all this explaining of what ChatGPT is anymore. I'll just dive in and tell you three key steps in using ChatGPT and how to write, how to prep ChatGPT, prepare it to answer your question, and how to fine tune it. You can even draw tables with ChatGPT. You can even write code with ChatGPT. You can write codes and debug your code in ChatGPT. You understand? So you can write your code, then you test it, it's not working. You bring it back here, tell ChatGPT that there's a problem with this code. Find out what the problem is. To now analyze it line by line and give you the answer. Oh, okay, this is that. And I fixed it. So HR job interview specifically. So you can even go ahead and say entry level or manager level, anything. So this is you fine tuning your question to be specific. If you don't do this here, when it gives you the answer, you still have to fine tune it again because I don't like the answers you got. Okay, so this is what we have. So I mind you, ChatGPT can do a whole lot of things: develop strategies, develop plannings, management kit, and everything. All this I'm going to break down eventually. So this is what I wrote. It said, certainly, I can provide you with some guidance on job interviews, career, blah, 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 blah. For an entry level HR job interview, here are some tips to help you prepare. So I mean I didn't add this part to just give me broadly an answer. Now I'll now remember, oh, it's an entry level. I'll now have to start asking it here. So always good to be precise. So research the company, understand the role, highlight relevant experiences, practice common interview questions, be familiar with HR processes. Why are you interested in the career in HR? Showcase your interpersonal skills. Ask, so now there's a whole lot going on here. So one other skill you could also infuse here is you could tell ChatGPT, okay, you have all these things, I don't want to read them. Summarize. I tell it to summarize the whole thing. So there are a few keywords I'm going to still teach you guys on how to fine tune your answers in ChatGPT. Things like summarize, expand, do like I'm going to list a whole lot of them, but not for this tutorial because it's so much. I have a list that I always go back to. I pull out my words from there. So the more descriptive you are, the better. So if you have a good command of use of verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and all, then you are good to go. So I tell it to summarize. It summarizes this. Okay. So it summarizes the whole thing 1 to 10. So 1 to 9. So it's up to 9. So and I ask it extract the key points. Extract the basic key points. So it says this is key point. So it literally broke this down a little bit more in the way I can understand. Okay. So what if I just want only the title, like where this stuff stopped? Okay. I can now tell it, okay, extract the titles only. So you put out all the titles. So you can say research company, understand the role. So this is it. You have research company, understand the role. You understand? So that is basically the things you can do. So it's all about the power of how you can ask the questions. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. So basically, these are all the things I'm going to compile for you in the guide I'm going to drop in the description. You can download it. I'm going to add prompts for each one, possibly. Yeah, I could. Yeah. So I'm going to generate some prompts for you to utilize. So you assist in research various. So you have a practical task and problem solving, and you have assistance and advice, and you have entertainment, engage, tell jokes, engage, debate, discuss current events, engage philosophical and ethical debates. Yeah, you can simulate a debate. Definitely. Let me show you what I mean, what it means by that. There's so much here, like it's crazy, you know. Like, just take a look at this. I'm gonna start a new chat. Engage in a sorry, I keep mistaking this. Philosophical and ethical debate. Okay. So now here's the thing. I'm going to ask it to simulate. Now, mind you, the debate could be between you and ChatGPT, or it could be between ChatGPT and ChatGPT. Like you simulate it, telling ChatGPT, to, okay, act as this person and act as this other person, and let them debate together. So here's what I said: simulate a debate between about Einstein and Mandela about plastic pollution. Let the conversation be in their style. So this is just basic, you know. You can just say send. Now, moderator, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the simulation debate between two great minds, history about Einstein and Somalia. Today, we have chosen the topic of plastic pollution as it poses significant challenge to our planet's well-being. Without further ado, let's begin the debate. So, Einstein, the floor is yours. So, Einstein starts talking. So, I want you to watch the context of how he talks and tell me if it sounds like Einstein. Thank you, esteemed moderator. Plastic pollution is an issue that demands our immediate attention in the grand scheme of things. The interconnectedness of nature becomes evident. Actions have consequences, and proliferation of plastic waste is a grave consequence. The big English, like a whole lot of big English. So, now, like I said, I concur saying the interconnectedness. God, you speak and of extends beyond scientific understanding. It resonates with the principles of empathy, social justice. So now you have to understand that these are the things someone like Manila will stand for. Plastic pollution is not merely an environmental concern, but also a human rights issue. It's it's disproportionately affects marginalized communities, perpetuating inequality. You must tackle this challenge holistically. So this is a whole of long conversation. You can see what it can actually do. So NC is talking about enlightenment, instilling sense of environmental stewardship in the youth, you know. So this is the capability, there's so much. Um so the next thing I have here is you can engage in storytelling, role playing scenarios, engage in virtual storytelling or role playing games, practice practical life skills, help with understanding applying psychological principles. So these are just take a look at the whole thing yourself. You can pause this, take a good look at it. Next one, lifestyle and hobby. So these use cases are the basic use cases. So there's so much more, but these are the ones I've literally taken my time to gather up. Offer explanations and examples for educational content, technical support, language communication, language. So you can literally translate from one language to the other. You can even tell ChatGPT to act as a coach, maybe a Spanish coach, and teach you particular language. Let me give you an example. So let's go to ChatGPT. Now here's what I'm going to do. So watch my prompt. So, it's already going down. So I said, act as a Spanish coach, the best in the world. Walk me through learning Spanish from the scratch to advanced level and create a curriculum I can use in learning. So it says, Hola, I'll be delighted to guide you on a journey to learning Spanish from scratch to an advanced level. So all this long talk, comprehensive curriculum to follow, and I'll be here to support you along the way. Let's get started. Curriculum: introduction to Spanish, building vocabulary, expanding language, communicating every day, navigating intermediate level, achieving advanced proficiency. The learning resources, textbook. So this is like a whole tutorial altogether. Like this is your coach now telling you what you need to get so you can start off. Okay. Online language platforms, textbook and workbooks, language exchange practice, reading and listening materials, immersive experiences, study tips, consistency is key, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be the curriculum, okay? So now I ask is that, okay, what I need now is I need a curriculum starting today for a month. Put it in a table. So off the top of my head, I said create a curriculum starting today for a month. Put it in a table form and add the dates and days and add our KPIs. So let's see what comes up. So now this thread is all about Spanish. Can you see what's going on now? So today is what? Today is supposed to be Saturday, no Friday, right? Today is Friday. So we started tomorrow. So the KPI is pronunciation correctly pronounce Spanish words, introduction to Spanish alphabet, dates tomorrow. Okay. So this is your table. And this is your KPI, this is your topic. So this is after this topic, you should be able to do this. After this topic, you should be able to do this. After this topic, you should be able to do this. So now I want these topics to be here instead of here. So what do I tell it? Switch the KPI column and the topic column. Watch this. So watch what happens. Can you see? So now we have topics and then the KPIs. So it's as easy as that. So it's already an advanced stuff, you know. So now you can easily tell it to even. So now what you have here, you can copy it as it is and paste it in your Excel sheet. It will copy with the tables. I'm telling you. It's there I did it for the first time. I was surprised. So now you can easily tell it to expand on each one, each course. You pick this. So we have the topics here. Instruction in Spanish, and say bring it down here. Say paste. So you see the words I talk about are these two words: expand, extensively. So you are explaining to ChatGPT what you actually want. You are going deep. So if you just say expand, it will have a limit. When you say extensively, so these words give it much more context. So I'm telling you to expand this part. See what's going on. So imagine you are creating a course with this already. So you are breaking down each part one by one. Introduction to Spanish alphabet. These are the KPIs. Correctly pronounce Spanish words. And this is crazy. Like pronounce like A in father. So now, as we're using GPT, I don't know if GPT-4 has pronunciation, but this is basically what you have. So imagine you're a Spanish tutor. You can literally just craft your whole curriculum with this. Even if you don't know what a curriculum looks like, this is what you do. So this is basically what we had from the inception of the whole thing. Okay. So there's so much personalized recommendations, emotional support, when you tell you to act as simulation and virtual interaction, act as a virtual character for gaming in interactive experience. So that reminds me of something that I want to show you. So imagine I tell ChatGPT to you can tell ChatGPT to act as an interviewer to interview you for a position you're going for. I'm telling you. So what if you just do this? You're going for a product design interview. So give I'm telling you that I'm going for a product design interview. So act as a senior level product designer and ask me questions which I'll answer and you give follow up questions till I pass the interview or fail. Call me at the end of let's say 5 questions. If I don't indicate this, it will keep asking me a question. Maybe it's going to 100 or something. Let's see. Wait, I'll act as blah, blah, blah. So I'll act as a senior level product designer. I'll ask you series of questions for interview. I'll provide follow up questions. So, oh, so so this is the point where you have to fine tune the question you're asking it. Okay, so it's literally asking and answering the question. So now this is not what I want. I wanted to it to ask me the question and I answer. So you have to tell it specifically what you want. So question 5. So you start at question 4, then this question 5. Can you tell me about a time when you had work with a cross-functional team to deliver a complex product? How did you ensure effective collaboration and coordination among team members? Then the answer he gave was, I once worked. So that's not my question. So the follow up question is, how did you handle conflicts or disagreements within the cross functional team? Can you provide an example and explain how you resolved it? So, off the top of my head, so here's what I'm going to do because I don't have time to start cracking my head. I'm going to copy this somewhere else and tell ChatGPT to answer it for me. So I'm just going to take the first one. So that's my answer. So he said that's a great approach to handling conflict with the cross-functional team, encouraging open communication. However, to further explore your problem-solving skills, could you provide an example of a specific conflict or disagreement that arose within a team and explain how you resolved it? So I can keep answering and it will keep replying, giving me much more. So from every question answer I give, it gives me another question. So you can easily simulate your interview. You can tell it the level you want it. You want it to be hard, difficult, or easy. Then you can do that. So, what can you do with it? Other features. So, we talked about the pricing and we talked about the plugins. Then we talk about the how to start up, how to get better use of words, descriptive. So, like I said, to get better at ChatGPT, you have to be able to control your use of words and be much more descriptive. Like it's just like when you can be able to ask the right questions, you're gonna get the right answers. So that's even where you have to train yourself on the more. Okay, so the basic actions of ChatGPT is input and output. So what you put in, it translates and give you an output. So if your question is specific, then it's gonna give you a comprehensive answer. So there's what they call prepping. So prepping is all about preparing ChatGPT to answer your specific question. Just provide data, fill it with data that it can analyze, and you ask it if it understands. And it says yes, I understand, and you can proceed to ask a question. So why you do this prepping is just in case you need an information and you know the information is just recent. So and ChatGPT has no access to those recent info. So you can just feed it with the info yourself and then it gives you an answer. An example is if you tell ChatGPT to act as a business analyst, then you feed it with some information. Although I would not advise that you feed in your maybe company info into ChatGPT. But that's a scenario whereby you can process the data you have and give you a feedback. Then refining and fine tuning. So that's the way you can actually, when you ask a question, it gives you an answer and it's not the answer you want. You can refine your answer, tell it to tweak it this way or this way, so you can get your precise answer. So the advanced tips would always, I'll prepare another tutorial for that. And use cases, we've already done some use cases above. And my favorite use cases, I'm going to tell you, are using ChatGPT in graphic design. You can tell ChatGPT to give you an idea for logo design, a flyer design, and it will do that. You can ask it for career advice. You can ask it for programming, tell it to code this or that, use Java or Python to code or identify the tech stack or language. It will. You can tell it to help you with business development. You can tell it to teach you prompt engineering or how to prompt. So Prompting is basically how do you ask questions, how you structure your questions. So when you have a command of that, then you are good at prompting. Then ChatGPT for product designer is another good one. It can help you write case studies. I have prompts that write case studies for me in one click. And I have prompts that help me design websites, give me an idea of websites or ideas for products that can solve problems. These prompts I wrote myself. So there's one prompt I have. Once I just enter the name of the company or something, it gives me everything that has to be in the hero section, the header, the whole landing page, and all the individual pages, all the copywriting and everything. And I start fine tuning here and there to make it better. So management, you can ask it to help you with insights and tips of management, product development, develop a product from scratch, ideation to launch. For problem solving, you can actually use it for problem solving, industry based, any industry at all, or for your personal problems or productivity problems. You can tell ChatGPT to give you a strategy for productivity in so and so area. Then it will do that also. One other thing you can do is so the advanced tips I mentioned, this is a new tutorial altogether, which I'm going to prepare right now. And the conclusion, I'm going to also list out popular terminologies and I'll list them in the guide I'm preparing. Then, as well as what are the possibilities of ChatGPT? Now, it can be a personal assistant, customer support, language tutoring, interactive learning, creative content generation, virtual storytelling, virtual characters in games, intelligent chatbot, decision making support, research and information gathering, emotional support and mental health, virtual companionship, story based learning, personalized recommendations, social and entertainment applications. In the future, it could be an enhanced contextual understanding. It could help in enhanced contextual understanding, multilingual capabilities, domain specific enterprise expertise, emotional intelligence, personalization and user modeling, deeper integration with virtual and augmented reality, real time language translation, advanced. So, this one can be used for, let's say, you infuse it with some glasses. So when you travel somewhere, some other country, you are seeing the words on your glasses, and so basically, whatever person is saying, any language the person is speaking, it translates and shows it to you on your glass. So that's just an idea that you can understand what is being said, or it translates it and it's a hearing device. And if person is speaking Spanish, you can hear English. So advanced creative collaboration, interactive education experience, ethical and bias mitigation. So so I'm also going to add some learning resources for you. I'll add so much more in the book, a guide, yeah, with the links, with all these links, and what else? So from future courses I'm looking at, there's so much to learn. So you tell me what you like. Do you like this little brief beginners tutorial I just gave? If you do, you leave me a like, subscribe, and share the video. So there's so much more coming. There's a whole lot in ChatGPT. I've not even started teaching you how to prompt. Like you can all these prompts people use to develop SaaS websites. This is literally you can write it here and you plug it into your front end and it's done. So prompting is the key. Being able to ask the right questions, you get $1 million answer. So thank you for listening all through to this point. So watch out for my next video and subscribe and watch every other video I have. They're all interesting. Thank you. I'll see you next time. It's Maverick signing out.